So it is time to play some board games. And it is Sunday. It is a bit after 8. So it is time to play. And today we are going to be playing Mini Muckell, which is a variant on Muckell that it's pretty much done. I mean, it's based on an existing game. We've got, and you played it on Friday, Chris. There's been some small changes. I've done a bunch of solo testing. We're going to play a variant of Say Anything. Hi, Cheyenne. Good to see you again. And we're going to finish off playing a cooperative game. So with Mini Muckell, I don't know if you will have pencil and paper. So all you'll need to be able to play along is pencil and paper, and I will explain the rules. And then we'll have That's a Word Game. And then we'll play Say Anything, which is a game of creativity and making each other laugh. And you'll be able to play along also in the comments. And at the end, the cooperative words game, you might not be able to play so easily, but hopefully it'll all work out. And it's lovely to have you join us again, Cheyenne, and anyone else who might be joining. So, James, are you there?
Hello? Yes, I'm just sorting myself out.
It's the Easter Bunny! Because, as we all know, it is Easter, and the question on everyone's mind is, do you have some chocolate? I bought some chocolate. I went to Aldi on Thursday. I did a really big shop, and all the Easter chocolates was already half price. I mean, only Easter Friday, and no one's buying anything.
Chocolate.
Oh my God, that looks awesome.
It is awesome.
So let's talk about something that we've all been appreciating recently. I'm going to just talk about A, chocolate. Chocolate is awesome. B, I've got a garden. Now, I don't want to make everyone feel too jealous, but I'm really appreciative of the fact that I've got a garden. I was able to sit down, hear the bees going around, the birds, and, you know, be safe away from humans, but also engage with nature. And that is something that I am incredibly thankful for. Chris, what do you have going on that you are happy with?
Well, I spent the last couple of days doing very little, but working on the rules and kind of getting things down for a new game. So I'm thankful that I have the time and the creativity to do that. You can never take out either of those for granted. And I'm always thankful for my wife, and always thankful that we're able to kind of make the best of a weird situation. And yeah.
And Tom?
Yes, I spent today watching the Dark Room's 48-hour marathon, raising lots of money.
Oh boy!
Yeah, on Twitch. It's just John Robertson shouting and insulting people for 48 hours and going slowly mad, and then quickly mad, and then slightly slower, slowly mad. And it was very impressive. And also in the middle of that, a wonderful tuna and couscous and vegetable creation appeared in front of me, which was fantastic.
Oh, is that from Polly?
That was from Polly. She did some amazing cooking. Yes.
And Cheyenne is watching Annabelle. I don't know what that is, but presumably that's something to be thankful for, like just enjoying a good movie sometimes. I assume it's the name of a movie. Or it might be someone that Cheyenne knows. I don't know.
Is that a movie part of the Chucky horror franchise thing?
I don't know.
Or am I making it up? I don't know.
Maybe Cheyenne can tell us. But
Maybe. Yes.
James, what are you enjoying recently?
Well, I'm just enjoying playing My Little Bunny.
And dressing up as an Easter bunny yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the time of year when you can do that, isn't it? So why
not? You know what? In this time and day and age, you should be allowed to dress up as a bunny whenever you want.
Oh, thanks, Bez. We'll have a chat like that later.
Okay. So, Annabelle is indeed the name of a movie, and we're not sure if it is the Chucky one. But let me explain Mini Muckle. To James, Tom, and Chris have all played something quite similar, but people who are watching might not have been playing this. So, the way that Mini Muckle works is I am going to show a card, and you're going to choose one of the letters to write down as the first letter of a word. I will show another card, and with this second card, you can either continue the word or start a new word. Now, the trick is that you can start as many words as you want, but every word you start is going to basically cost you points at the end, if that makes sense.
Oh, right.
So,
okay. How's this one? Do I need pen and paper for this one, then?
You do need pen and paper. So anyone in the comments or James, you should know by now, it's the way it always is. Pen and paper, 8 p.m. You need a 5-minute break. Go off 30 seconds. Get yourself some pen and paper, James. James got the pen and paper. James got the pen and paper already. Yay! So, pick a card. You choose a letter. You write it down. You choose another letter. You either extend the word or you start a new word. And then you keep on extending the words or starting new words. At any time, you are allowed to just cross off the word. So at this point, let's say I did the word rarest, which I was quite proud of, if you see that. So once I've done the word rarest, I'm allowed to do a little dash, and then I did the word am. Now, I only get penalized once for each row. That's important. So if you complete a word, if you say, yeah, I'm stopping here, then the second word on the same row doesn't get you any penalty. Does that make sense?
So you can start as many rows as you like, but every time you do that, you'll lose 1 point.
Correct. And so you want to have as few rows as you want. I would say that going for 3 rows is a good amount. If you manage to stick to 2 rows, you'll get 1 fewer points. If you go 4 rows, well, it's only a point. What's a point between friends? But then there's a massive point bonus at the end. So all the words score a number of points equal to the length of the word. So like 3 letters is 3, 5 letters is 5, 8 letters is 8. But at the end of the game, you're allowed to double the points from 1 word, which would be your longest word. So ideally, what you might want to do is make at least 1 word that's just the longest word you can do, and make some other short words. And remember that there are...
for creating a new word, basically.
Lose a point for creating a new word, but if you've already closed off a word, so in this example, if
we got screen bigger, please,
full-size Muckle, let me go for this. So in this example, if when I finished strums, I went to insect, and I was really hoping for a T, but I didn't quite manage to finish it. There is one other thing that you should know for Mini Muckle. In Mini Muckle, you have 3 wild cards. And so 3 times during the game, you can just draw a little star. That's going to be any letter that you want, literally any letter. But you're only allowed to do that 3 times during the game.
Is a wild card part of the deck?
No, the wild card isn't part of the deck, but you just say at some point, okay, you know what, I don't like this O or D. Instead of having an O or D, I'm just going to do a wild card.
Is that instead of using a card or as well as? Right.
Instead. Use a wild card because you do not want to use either of these letters, or maybe in the case of insect, I should have really held on to a wild card to finish off this insect, because I still managed, if you've got a partial word, I could still score in for 2 points, but clearly insect would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is way better. And so
how many rows do you get to start off with, or is it just like one minus one per row?
Correct.
Every row.
Every row is -1 point.
Okay.
And so don't feel too bad about just starting a whole bunch of rows because it's just -1 per row. So frankly, I think there's probably going to be more than 1 point difference between us, but maybe there isn't.
And is it minimum of 3 letters per word?
Nope. You can have any number of letters you want. And remember, there are 3 words that are 1 letter long. A, as in a bird. I, as in I like to hear the birds. And O, as in, oh, brother, where are the birds?
I'm going to start 48 rows.
There are only 24 cards.
Player with a -4, actually. That would be great.
Just to let you know, I've chosen 3 of the borders semi-arbitrarily. We only play with half the deck. So we do have A, I, N, O, or S, T, 3 of each, and some of the other letters we might not have. I'm not going to keep track of the distribution. So, are there any questions with regards to the rules?
I think we're good.
So, bunnies play.
Sure, but you might have to help the bunny with the words.
The writing part always
you should choose a T or an H to start your first word. Everyone done that?
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got 3 options. Either you choose an N or a D to continue that word, which I don't think can really work. Secondly, you could use one of your 3 wild cards, just draw a star, or you could do an N or a D to start a new word, which is what I'm personally going to go for. Now we've got I or B. Again, this can be used to continue one of your 2 words, start a new word, losing you a point, or you can use your wild card. N or B? Good. Let me know if I put it down and you need a bit more time. It's the only way. S or X? And if you manage to make a word, let everyone know. I managed to make the word dins as
dibs.
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 A or W?
Dib.
Aw. A or P? So, again, you just choose one of these. Either extend a word, start a new word, or if you don't like the card, use a wild card. You have 3 wild cards over the game. A or G? S or D? T or L? Oh, I should have said you are allowed to ignore a card, but if you ignore a card, you're giving up potential points, but at the same time, you might want to ignore a card so you don't start a new row. But we're only halfway through the game, so it's still worth making a new word.
Okay, just made haps.
Haps?
Haps.
H-A-P-S, I'm not familiar with that word.
H-A-P-S, it means to happen.
Mayhaps so. Is that correct? T or M, it's not copyright.
Trademark, of course.
To use a wild card for that.
Are there any phone a friend options available here?
Any what?
Any phone a friend options?
Not sure how to model.
E or P? Remember, you get double points for your longest word. So you do want to make one word that's as long as you can get it.
Oh, God.
R or M?
I just made tape with that, sorry.
I'm going to make Nate.
Oh, I could make tape, couldn't I?
Yeah, I have Taper currently. But I'm
nice.
not keeping it. You know, I'm hoping for an S.
I might keep it as taper then.
Mm.
Yeah.
E or
sorry.
Y?
Yeah.
A. I or C? So each card is either extending a word, starting a new one, or replace it with a wild card. S or H?
Yes. All right. That's memes.
MEMES.
Yes.
Nice. E or L? Oh. I'm just
No,
thinking.
E or L.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. I'll claim 9th, and then
NINTH. Very nice.
yeah.
Allowing you to work on.
I use one of my wild cards to get the H, but yes.
Nice.
I'm thinking I might keep my wild cards at the end. I do have
I would use 2 of them.
N or U.
All right.
Got 4 words on the go. And Cheyenne's got a bunny apparently, but not as big as James's. R or B.
I'm going to use a wild there.
Just so you know, we've got 5. There's 4 cards after this one. O or F. I or Q.
I'm going to use a wild. I'm going to
using
make
a wild.
glints.
And wilds do count as points, and they do count as your word length, just to clarify.
So you choose a wild card or the letters, not both?
Yes. O or D.
All right.
I'm going to claim lurid.
Nice.
I miscounted. There were 2 cards. There are 2 cards left now.
Ooh.
O or C. This is the penultimate card.
Right. I'll use a wild card.
Wild.
I'm using a wild. And finally, R or H. I'm going to ignore
Can't do
this
anything
one.
with that.
Yeah.
And so,
Right.
basically, if you look at mine, so I've got tapers, dins, dib, mud, and gleeful.
I've used 3
Nice.
for my 3 wild cards to finish off my 2 words. That's my star there.
And so what you do is you count up how many letters you've actually used in words, and wild cards do count as letters. Next, you are going to look at your longest word and double those points, and finally you'll subtract 1 for each row.
Is FID a word? FID? Probably isn't.
FID. I'd have to double check that on the Collins English.
FID is a word. It's a square bar used as a support for a topmast.
Oh, fantastic.
Right.
Oh, there you go. Well, we can all learn something in this show.
So I got 17 in total then.
10,
I think I did it with 24.
So I had
27. I had taper, 9th, lurid, and Satish.
So I had 23 plus 7 minus 4 is 26.
Oh. Tissue, nape, reserve, and FID, which gives me minus 4 because I had 4 rows. Gives me 16. Yeah,
Did you remember to double the points for your longest word?
No.
Okay, so basically,
1 point per letter.
It's 1 point per
1 point
letter
per letter,
used, which is a maximum of 24. because that's how many cards we had in the deck. Double the points for the longest word, which I managed to make a 7-letter, and then minus 1 for each thing.
So there we are. I've got 23 points then.
Nice.
So we have James on 23, Chris on
27.
27. Wow. Tom on
24.
24, and I came in the middle with 26. So well done, James. I mean, Chris. Chris, sorry.
Well done as well.
Well done, Chris.
Well, can I do this?
Thank you.
Can I take, because I had BALMI, I was trying to create a longer word. I just cut off the I and use that as a 4-letter.
Oh yeah, you can use it. You can use a subset of. Let's see that one.
In that case, I'll take off the I, use that as a 4-letter, add that to 4. That's 27 points. Yay!
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so shall we have a quick rematch now that everyone knows the rules?
Sure.
Yeah.
There you go then.
Okay, so for those people who've just tuned in, this is a word game, and we've just finished this one. Basically, every time, if you want to join in, just grab pen and paper, choose a letter, write it down. Next card, you can either choose the letter to extend a word or start a new word, or you can use a wild card. You've got 3 wild cards during the course of the game to do whenever you want. And the easiest way to do it is just by playing. So we start off with an intelligence card. You've got to choose the I or the Q to start off a word. And there's definitely a U in this deck. The next card, E or P. So you're choosing one of these letters to either extend the word or to start a new word. Every time you start a new word on a new line, it's going to be minus 1 point. R or M. T or H. I've got 3 lines on the go already. N or D. Oh my goodness. I'm not happy with that. That's my 4th line.
Okay, using a wild card.
I or B. E or Y.
I'll take that E and make pie.
T or M. Apparently. Ooh. Tet. Guess I might go for tetanus. See if I... T or L.
Finish that, and yeah. Okay.
Oh, I don't know what to do with that T or L. I'm tempted to just start a 5th word, but that seems like a terrible idea. But I'm going to do it anyway. S or D.
I'm claiming diets.
Nice.
A or W.
Oh, thank goodness, a vowel.
Yeah.
I or C. Oh, darn.
I'll take N for 3 letters and use the C.
Okay, so have another card, and it's S or H. So this is used to extend your word or start a new one. Or a wild card. E or L?
And I'll take the tie there.
N or U?
Oof.
I'm going to admit at the start, I went for the Q because I just wanted to be fancy. And I was hoping the
I
U would
totally skipped that first card.
O or D?
I'm going to have time for 5 letters.
Nice. N or B?
Take a wild card.
Oh,
I've relaxed for 5 letters.
I'm going to take the B and make knob.
R or B? Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, darn. I used the wild card as an F just there. And it feels so annoying.
Oh, do I use that or do I do? Oh, I'll do that. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, I'm doing another wild card. O or C? Oh. And I will just do a quick card count. There are 4 cards left.
Oh no!
So in case you want to think about what I'm probably not going to use this card. I'm skipping it entirely.
I want all those.
R or H?
All right. I'll take the H.
What's most likely?
The S or X?
Take the S. How many cards left?
3 letters.
2 after this.
Both E's.
This is the penultimate card.
All right.
Oh.
Wild card.
And finally, it is the A or G.
Other wild card.
Oh, come on.
I'm
I'm gonna
using my
have
final wild card there as well.
Last 3 letters. I'm going to have and then that's the last deck, is it?
That
I'm gonna have
is
2 wild cards
the
then.
end of the deck. So I'm just going
I'm gonna
to...
read for 2 letters and choose for 6 letters.
I don't suppose imaga is a word, is it?
6 again. So,
What? How do you spell it?
IMAGA.
I am a.
No, it's not a word.
I mean, image or imaga would be, but imaga isn't.
28. 28.
Oh wow. So I did. I think I might have scored 1 less than last time.
3, 5,
25.
13.
And my biggest word was 6 letters.
Oh no, I scored an 8-letter word.
Whoa.
So did I.
23.
I got Cheroots. CHEROOTS. Other than that, everything was horrible.
So I used this is the second game here. I used all the letters except for 1. My longest word was 8 letters, prideful, and I scored -5, which gives me a total of 26 points.
Nice.
I got 23 points, I think. Imaga.
95.
Tom got 23. How many did you get? 25.
25.
You managed to do it with just 2 rows. Very nice.
Mm.
Yeah, I started a 3rd row. Wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. The vowels did not come up as I would have liked.
And did you say you managed to score 28, James?
Yeah.
Very nice.
I had 4 rows. My longest word was 6 letters.
Wouldn't that would make it 26 at most? because
So I had 3. I had quo, spar, end, choose, relax, and timed. So I had quite a lot of words.
But at most, you're going to score 24 letters.
3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 27 letters I've got.
No, because there's a 24 card deck, so you must have done something wrong.
So I think the 3 letters are my wild cards then.
Instead of using a letter from a card.
Oh, that's what you did.
Yeah.
Okay, no, the wild cards are instead of using a card.
Oh, okay.
Sorry for that misunderstanding. So I think you've slightly misunderstood the rules there.
Disqualified.
You'll know for next time. Which means that this game I actually won. Yay!
What was your final score?
26.
26.
26 for Bez, 25 for Chris, and 23 for Tom. So that is Mini Muckell. What did you think of that?
I'd enjoy it more if wild cards were part of the deck. I wouldn't get confused then.
Yeah, that makes sense. I wanted to have it be an option of when to use them, and for that to be an interesting decision. Because you could
enjoy
use
that one. That's a nice, good, fast game. I think, it gives you the option of doing big letters or big words or small words, isn't it? So it's good, and it's not restricted by just having 3 rows.
Yeah, definitely like the doubling of the longest word. Definitely gives you a reward for not just making like a lot of smaller 3-4 letter words.
Yes.
So, definitely a good thing to keep.
Awesome.
Concentrating on one big word does handicap you for all the other words, which is good.
Exactly. So higher risk, higher reward.
Yeah.
So that was obviously a game for the L deck, which I made, and now we're going to play a game from North Star Games, designed by D Crapuchettes and Satish Pillalamarri, which is Say Anything. Now,
anything.
Are you
I've just said
familiar
anything.
with Say Anything? Cheyenne,
Anything.
Chris, James, Tom?
I'm here.
Are
Anything.
you familiar with this?
Not
at all.
Yes, somewhat.
I mean,
I've
we
seen
are
the
still
tabletop.
keeping this as a PG-rated thing, so don't say literally anything.
Oh no. Did you hear that,
What?
Bunny?
Fine, we'll just
Yeah,
put a marker in the box to say almost anything.
say almost anything as long as it's PG.
I'm tempted to do that, but I'm not going to graffiti my box right now. So basically, this game, Chris, James, and Tom, it would be very helpful if you would get some paper. I've got some sheets here. And write down the names of everyone else who is playing. So we're going to write down the names of the 3 other players, if that makes sense.
All right.
My piece of paper.
Pardon?
Okay.
And so this will allow us to... Actually, we're only going to get to vote for one of these, because there's a few of us. We're going to be playing with slightly different rules than the printed rules, just because we want to make it work for the medium of video conferencing. So we don't have access to the same components, obviously. So that's why I always say, there's an element of playtesting even when it is a published game. And
for the purpose of voting.
Bez, Chris, and James. I'm actually writing them down on separate bits of paper so that I can be like, hey, it's James.
What, do I do it on a separate piece of paper then?
Yeah, get a bit of...
Get extravagant.
Well, you can rip them up and be really tiny with it. I mean, look, I've got
Bez,
James.
Chris, and Tom.
Call yourself a game designer? You don't have lots of little scrap paper display.
Chris. Look,
Yes.
tiny little bits of paper. Just get an A4 and tear it up.
Totally
So
good.
this game, Cheyenne is asking, what is this game? Indeed, that is the question on everyone's mind. I mean, Chris, James, and Tom do not know this game. This game is Say Anything. Who knows Wits and Wagers? This is by the same people who made Wits and Wagers, and we played it on Thursday. You might remember that. Chris, you were playing. James, you were playing. And
Sesame
Tom,
Street was 1969.
Tom, you were playing Wits and Wagers, right?
I was. Badly.
And so, this is basically a reaction to Wits and Wagers. It's a game about facts, and then people say, "Hey, how many seats are there in the New York basketball stadium, for example?" And then no one knows. You all write down an answer, and someone was saying to North Star Games, who made this game, "Hey, this isn't interesting. Who gives the toss? Who cares?" And so that's why they made Say Anything. Now, in Say Anything, we have a prompt card. For example, what would be the oddest subject for a documentary? I'll be the judge. We can actually play this round. I will explain it as we go along. Don't worry, even if you've only played Uno, that's totally fine. You will understand this game. I will explain it. So I am the judge. I'm asking people to just give opinions, and once you've got an answer, just shout it down. What would be the oddest subject for a documentary? And if you're in the comments, you can also partake just by joining in. So, do we have any ideas? What would be the oddest subject for a documentary?
Scissors.
Scissors. Chris comes up with scissors. Okay. James, Tom, do you have any ideas for what would be the oddest subject for a documentary?
My mum.
Your mum. That would be odd, yeah, because it's your mum. I mean, has your mum done anything notable?
I should ask her that one. No, not really.
Okay, so Tom, what would be the oddest subject for a documentary?
The history of toenails.
Oh.
So, Chris said scissors. Tom said history of toenails. And James said James's mum. Now, I vote for my favourite answer. It's not actually the correct answer. It's just which one I feel is my favourite answer. And I've chosen a thing. I'm going to put it down here, so you don't get to see it. And now, everyone, on the count of 3, you have to guess who I voted for.
Oh, I haven't got a sticker for me. Okay, I've got to create a sticker for me.
Well, then make a sticker for yourself then.
Oh yeah, that's a point. You do have to create a sticker for yourself.
Oh, okay.
And we're going
So can you vote for yourself then?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. 3 guesses who I'm voting for then.
So on this score sheet, I'm going to say that Bez is red, James is purple, Tom is yellow, and Chris
Purple,
is blue.
Sure.
Oh, pink and white, do they?
And we've got spaces in the other things if you want to join in from the comments, Cheyenne. So, is everyone ready to vote who they think I would vote for?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, show your answer. Okay, so Chris was correct because I did indeed. Tom was my favourite answer. So what happens is that Chris gets a point because Chris correctly deduced who I would prefer. Tom gets a point because Tom correctly gave me my favourite answer. And I get 1 point because the person who was my favourite answer got picked by one person. Sorry, Cheyenne, you were slightly too slow there. But if you want, Cheyenne, what colour would you like to be? Let us know and I will write you in on the board. So, Chris, the second question. Hello, that's Umberto, great friend with lots of ferrets. So, Chris is going to go second. Your question, Chris, sorry you can't see these cards, but I will just choose the last one, which was you just got fired, and we have to tell you why.
Oh no.
So why did Chris just get fired? So Chris, give us a little bit of background. What is your normal day-to-day job as a internet digital nomad?
Well, I'm a travel blogger. I'm a web designer. I'm a photographer. All around creative weird guy, I guess you could say. Yeah.
Ooh.
So game designer among lots of other stuff. So bring it on. What you got?
Cheyenne's asking what colors there are. There's green, orange, brown, and grey. So, I'm going to say you were fired because you were fiddling with your nipples too much. And that was considered inappropriate.
You guys have got a tough one to beat here. Okay, James, what you got?
Me? Well, you was given a presentation to a very, very high-level selection of board members from the chairman and the CEO and that sort of people. And in this presentation, you put on your laptop to put on a presentation, and and rather than showing your really good, neat PowerPoint graphs and slides, it was the last porn video that you was watching last night.
Yep.
And everyone saw this, and then they fired you.
I'm not saying that's ever happened before, but it could happen. So yeah. All right, Tom.
I'm going to say you got fired because in a travelogue about visiting the beautiful country of Poland, you accidentally misspelled the name of a town, and it ended up being a massive insult to the whole of Poland because you said something inappropriate involving donkeys. Where everybody in that town had inappropriate moments with donkeys.
And Cheyenne, I have written your name down in the grey section. If you want to write an offering for Chris, then we'll give you a couple of seconds to do that. Otherwise, we're just going to vote for who gave the best answer.
And I've got one thing written down here, already chosen.
Okay, so we had inappropriate donkeys, accidental revelation of pornographic materials from James, or playing with your nipples.
This has gone in a strange direction.
Yeah, it might not be exactly PG. I don't know.
We're good. Okay, so vote.
3, 2, 1.
2, 1.
And Cheyenne, who do you... Oh, Cheyenne, who do you think?
Bez, Tom.
Cheyenne, you need to reveal before Chris comes up with their final words. 3, 2, 1.
And winner was Tom. Nicely done, sir. Yeah, just
So,
this. I actually do sometimes have nightmares about misspelling something and really, making someone mad when they see that. They're like, "Oh no, what do we do?" Thankfully, spell check and research up a lot of that, but
yeah,
it could very easily happen.
Jan voted for me as well.
That came in a little bit late, but I'll accept it this time. So that's the scores on the doors. And now it's Tom to go for it. So Tom, the question that we're going to be answering for your benefit is, what would be the worst job to have? So we've got to invent the worst possible job that someone could have. And you can call upon people as you wish.
Yeah. Cheyenne, if you've got anything, just type it out.
The worst possible job.
Worst possible.
Okay, I'm going to say that the worst possible job to have would be to be a designated antibody generator for COVID-19. So basically, Your job is to go out, deliberately contract this virus, and then you've got to suffer this virus and just hope that you manage to survive and develop antibodies, and then they're going to drain your blood. That would be a really bad job to have. I think that would be quite inhumane. I mean, I'm glad that this job doesn't actually exist, but that would be a really bad job.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
Oh, I've got two, and I'm not sure which one's better, so I'll go with one. I'll go with this one. Professional porta potty cleaner.
Yeah. I mean, that is a real job, presumably.
That is a real job. I would not wish it on my worst enemy ever. But people need to do it. It's one of those jobs that needs to be done. It can't not be done, and someone's got to do it. So yeah,
I just
hope that key job.
Mm-hmm. James, have you got anything?
I'm trying to think of one. How about Donald Trump's escort?
Oh, God.
That would be... So you're always assigned to Donald Trump. You're not like an escort.
I'm afraid so. He's
the other type of escort.
You're his favorite one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Might be better to say nighttime escort, perhaps.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow. So
nobody wants to do that.
Okay. Tom, I think that we've not got anything from the comments, so if you just lock in what you think your favourite one was, and don't tell us, but just lock it in.
Just to summarise, it's Donald Trump escort, porta potty cleaner, and COVID-19 getter deliberately.
Yeah, to generate antibodies. You're professionally trying to be the host of the antibodies for COVID-19. So, Cheyenne, if you want to make a guess, make sure that you do it before Tom has revealed.
I have an answer.
Okay. I think that you're going to go for James's one. That's just my feeling, because I think that would be a really horrible thing to have to do. Shall we give Cheyenne a few more seconds?
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep.
Okay.
I did go for James.
Oh,
okay.
No.
Nice one, James.
I think
Nice one.
you'd get a lot of job satisfaction in the other two. Even though it was horrible at the time, you'd feel good about having done it because you've been making the world a better place.
You just feel so dirty, mate. You just feel so dirty.
Yeah.
Even a hot shower wouldn't wash that dirt away, I tell you.
No.
Chris, did you vote for my one?
I voted for James.
James voted for you, I think.
Oh, James only gets 1 point then.
Right.
You didn't have the confidence in yourself.
No, I thought yours was funnier.
So, right now, the score's on the door. Sorry, Cheyenne, that was a little bit too late. But you still have 2 points, which is the same as everyone, except for Chris, who's slightly in the lead. Okay, so James, what's the dumbest thing that someone has actually done? Are you happy with this question, James?
It will have to do something dumber to beat what I've done, I tell you. There we go.
Okay, what's the dumbest thing that someone has actually done? I mean, I'm not wanting to look up the internet to do some research. But again, if you've got some ideas in the comments, just type them in and you could be in with a chance of winning points. Oh, that's a hard question. I'm going to say the dumbest thing that people have done, this is not setting the bar very high, is to send texting to the wrong person. That is pretty
All
dumb.
right. All right.
Unfortunately, that's never happened to me. I mean, I've never had anyone send me a sex text by accident, or even on purpose, for that matter. So, Tom, next, please.
I'd say the dumbest thing anyone's ever done is inventing Twitter.
Well, that's a good one. Yeah. And Chris, please.
Microwaving money to disinfect it.
People actually did that.
People have done it,
What would
actually.
happen?
Well, it depends on the country. I saw it on Reddit earlier, and basically this person put like several $100s worth of Canadian currency, which is plastic, basically. They put it in the microwave to try and disinfect it, and it all kind of melted together in one congealed clump of plastic.
Oh dear!
And the picture was just again just this congealed clump of plastic. Whether they'll be able to get their money back, who knows? But of all the stupid things to do to dry something out or to disinfect it or whatever, that's got to be one of the stupider things I've seen.
I've got a question for Bez as well. What was in this text, by the way?
Oh, well, it's a very explicit text about what you would like to do with your romantic partner, and then you send it to your mum.
Oh no!
Oh, yeah. I mean, that could work. Okay. And Tom, sorry, could you just remind me what your one was again? Sorry.
Inventing Twitter was a dumb move.
Oh yeah, Twitter. Yeah, I've not actually used Twitter.
I thought you said Facebook.
I said Twitter.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Well,
so we've heard the options.
I know who I'm going to go for.
Disinfecting money by
nobody
putting it into the microwave. I said sexting someone accidentally, and Tom said inventing Twitter. So
I'm surprised no one's gone for the Darwin Awards. You see, because there's a you've heard of those, haven't you?
Yeah.
Bez?
The Darwin Awards, yeah.
Yeah. So
I can't remember one individual one.
No, I mean, there's things like people who have just sort of, set themselves on fire using a barbecue lighter or something, and or just doing something really stupid to remove themselves from the human gene pool, which is of benefit to mankind. So they kind of win an award for that.
A posthumous award.
Exactly.
So, James, have you decided which one is your favourite?
Yes, I have. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so everyone, including Cheyenne, just write down who you think was your favourite one. I'm going to say that Chris might have been the favourite answer just because. Oh, so we all enjoyed Chris's one. Because it's just, why would you microwave money to disinfect it?
Yes.
Universal.
Okay.
Universal, that one. I think that was easy for me. I mean, I kind of gave that away right at the beginning, I think. Yeah. 4 points to Chris. Well done.
So,
Yay.
Cheyenne doesn't manage to get it, but now that's 2 points to Chris, 1 point for getting the best answer, 1 point for voting on yourself. James got a couple of points. And yeah, that's the scores on the doors. And we will play to 10 points.
We lost James.
Oh, so we have. How bizarre. In that case, let's play to 9 points. Chris. Oh no, it's me.
It's you. Yeah, it's yours.
Who would be the worst? Oh, we've got James back. Who would be the worst person to sit next to on an airplane? I want to hear your ideas about. Talk to me about a person who would be terrible to sit beside on an aeroplane. Because
this is easy. I mean, who's
for it,
answering
James.
this question?
Yeah, go for it.
Who's answering the question? Sorry.
Everyone else except for me.
Apart from you, okay. So I've got to think from your point of view rather than my point of view. I know who I would not want to see on an airplane. But that's
why don't you try that?
Because it wouldn't mean anything to you, I don't think. Who's the worst person you sit next to on an airplane? God.
So, Chris, Tom, any ideas? Chris, I'm going to call on you.
Of course, sure. So I would say the person on the plane that immediately takes off their shoes and socks and breaks out their toenail clippers, because this is just the perfect time to do a little pedicure. That face.
Ooh.
That face, Bez.
And Cheyenne has an idea. A woman who has a baby that's crying. So
that's a good shout.
Pretty good.
That's a good shout.
So I'm going to write. Wait, I've misspelled Anne. So we should write Cheyenne in case we think that is the best answer on a bit of paper.
All right.
So we've got someone who busts out their feet and toenail clippers. We've got a crying baby. Tom?
Well, I've got two answers. Do you want the not entirely topical answer or the very, very, very not topical answer?
So neither is particularly topical, so I'll go for the not entirely topical because it's marginally more topical, I guess.
More easy one. Charlie Sheen. I would not want to sit next to Charlie Sheen on an airplane.
Okay. James.
Well, I had a couple of answers, but I don't think you'd probably. I don't think. See,
that's the game. We've got to play to the judge.
I think my mother rears its head, but I don't think that would bother you too much. I think somebody who's obviously clearly having symptoms of COVID-19, I would want to sit on an airplane. But I think trumping that would probably be Tommy Robinson, because nobody.
So your final answer is Tommy Robinson.
Yes.
No other facts. It's just Tommy Robinson.
You know who that is, don't you?
I don't actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, that's your final answer. You've said it now. It's
okay. Yeah.
So we've got Tommy Robinson from James. We've got Charlie Sheen from Tom. We've got a woman with a crying baby from Cheyenne. And we've got someone who busts out their feet and does a manicure from Chris. I've locked in my answer. It's here. Everyone, Chris, James, Tom, Cheyenne, tell me who you think is going to be the winner. Who do you think is in this bit of paper? Chris, who do you think it is and why?
It's me. I'm pretty sure it's me.
Tom also
I'm going to go for Cheyenne because I hate screaming babies as well.
Okay, Cheyenne, give you a little bit more time. And so, yeah, there's a lot of good answers. But, Cheyenne went with Tom. I'm afraid that's not the correct answer. This is Chris.
You want to know my less topical answer?
Yes.
B.A. Baracus.
I would actually totally dig that. I would love to be next to B.A. Baracus on an airplane. So,
I pity that fool who's next to me on the airplane. That's what you would say.
So, Chris, you voted for yourself. Tom voted for Chris. And so, these are the scores on the doors. You can see that Chris is going into the lead and 2 points away from winning.
Just saying that I would have voted for James if you'd heard of Tommy Robinson, because if you research who Tommy Robinson is, I'm sure you will agree with James as well.
Okay. Maybe after the thing, I will check that out. The final question, possibly, depending on how well Chris does, is what makes someone a geek?
Oh boy.
So we have to tell Chris what
Oh.
makes someone a geek. So it's something that someone's done, I guess? Is that the kind of answer you're looking for, Chris?
It could be something you do. It could be something you enjoy. It could be how you do something or how you enjoy something. So I'll let that be a little cryptic to avoid, influencing answers or whatever. But Tom.
I would say knowing the names of all the Cantina band in Star Wars Episode 3. Episode 4. No, Episode 3. Episode 4.
I don't know
New
all
Hope.
the names of Star Wars Cantina band.
Clearly, you're not
Go on, Tom,
a
name them.
Star Wars geek.
I know.
All right, very good.
Go on, name.
No, that's
I want to hear Tom name
That's
them.
the one from 4.
Episode 4, yeah.
That's the one from 4. There is another cantina that is in episode 3, but we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Jane.
Blimey. I was just going to say having no social skills would be quite an obvious one.
All right, very good.
That's not true in this particular group, though, is it? So that's probably not too much of a generalization. I don't know. I can't think of it.
All right. Bez?
So my suggestion is a hobby. Like, if your hobby was to go around and take notes of car registration plates, just try and track down all the car registration plates to get them consecutively, that would be quite a geeky thing to do. It's like, oh, I'm trying to track down that one car. Although it might turn into, a bit stalkerish, I don't know.
I've seen that one around there.
Cheyenne has another submission, which is when someone can say the alphabet backwards.
All right.
That's a good show.
Very good. I have my answer in my little hand.
Okay, so now everyone has to say who they think was their favorite answer. Do you want to do a quick recap, Chris?
Sure. So Tom had knowing the people in the Cantina band from episode 3. James, I forgot yours. Sorry.
Episode 4, I think.
Well, I think I might change mine. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll pass on mine.
James
Okay.
was no social skills.
Okay,
No
James has no social skills. And Bez?
Mine was
Gospel.
having a hobby of going out and
looking for the tag numbers,
looking for the car registration plates numbers.
Okay.
And Cheyenne was being able to say the alphabet backwards.
It's a
So
really
all of us
important skill. It's a really important skill, by the way, to know if you ever need to do like a sobriety test in the US.
ZYXWVUTSPONML.
So you're sober right now. This is good. But, this is harder to do when you've been drinking.
JIHGFEDCBA. The thing is,
Geek.
being able to do it or not is a terrible test of sobriety.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of things messed up with it. But I have an answer. So hold up your votes, please.
Oh, I'm still... Okay, I'm going to go for this one. I'm going to go for Cheyenne's one. Cheyenne, who do you think had the best answer in Chris's opinion? So 2 of us think it's Tom. I think it's Cheyenne, and Cheyenne hasn't given a thing yet.
Tom as well?
So go on then.
All right.
Name all the band, please.
I didn't say I could.
Correct answer is Tom. Nice job, sir.
Woo! So everyone gets a point except for me. And Chris does get 2 points because when you're the judge, you get as many points as people voted on the answer you do to kind of up to a maximum of 2. It's a way to keep the judge honest. And that means that Chris has won. So we were playing 2-9. And everyone else was basically so distant to second that... Oh wait, I think I missed one for Cheyenne. So basically everyone else was so distant to second that it doesn't really matter when we look at. Chris is like away in the distance. Everyone else is like, "Wah." And that will say anything that we played with. So yeah, what did people think of that one?
Figuring Dan and the modal nodes. That's the Cantina band.
I want to play the After Dark version.
You want to play the
where
what
you're
version?
not limited to PG rated stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm limited by that.
Oh,
I think Cheyenne found it a bit tricky, and
She had a bit of a delay as well.
yeah, that's true, because there is definitely a little bit of a lag because of the whole streaming thing, because we have to. This is being broadcast via YouTube and Facebook, and then we need to get the comments loaded back into the StreamYard. So I don't know how much of a delay there is, but I think it might be as much as like a good few seconds based on the start.
yeah.
If I was considering that we could finish off the evening by playing a little cooperative word game using the ELL deck. The only downside of this word game is that it might be quite difficult for anyone else to play along in the comments, but I thought it might. But it's one that I thought we'd give a go, and so yeah, whilst people were able to hopefully play along a little bit for the first couple of games, we will see how this one works. And this is a game that, if you enjoy it, I am planning to make a nicer print and play edition of the ELL deck that you'll be able to purchase, or you can get the Comic Sans version for like £1. And yeah, I will explain it and people might enjoy it, or if you don't want to follow along, that's also okay, like not wanting to keep anyone, hostage. But yeah, does that seem... Where's my little pad? Where's my little pad of paper? I can't find it. Here it is. Yay. So, is that cool with everyone? Is everyone ready to play a quick cooperative ELL deck game? I played this with Gil Hova and a bunch of other people yesterday. It worked reasonably well. I'm going to change the scoring a little bit, but this is a game wherein we will be making lines of words. I think, Chris, you might have played it a week last Friday.
Okay.
So at the start of the game, everyone will get 48. Yeah. Everyone will get 3 cards, and you, for example, Chris, will choose exactly how to place these 3 cards on 2 lines. Like 1 letter from each card. Then Tom, then James, then myself. We would go through this just to give ourselves a bit of an asymmetric start. Now, at the end of the game, we're going to have 2 lines of letters. So within these 2 lines, literally anywhere within these 2 lines, we can choose, okay, that's a word, that's a word, that's a word. Any words that we have, the shortest words that we want to have, the shortest word be fairly long. We want to have the longest words that we make between all our words be very long as well. Because at the end of the game, it's going to be the longest word minus the amount of gobble-de-gook that we have is multiplied by the shortest word. Does that make sense? So when I say
multiply by the shortest word,
the longest word minus the longest bit of gobble-de-gook. So if, for example, my lines were as a very quick example, So I've got here A, toe, B, stone, PRQ. So PRQ is not a word, and so my gobbledygook length is 3, which is pretty bad. I should have put a Q at the left, because you can, in this game, you can put letters on the left, or on the right of a line. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can't put them in the middle, but you can always put a letter on the left or on the right of a line, of either of the lines.
All right.
And if all of us had this and all of us had an identical thing, which wouldn't be the case, then we would get 1, 2, 3 as the shortest, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the longest. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minus 3 is 2 times 3. Our score is 6. Does that make sense?
When you say the shortest word, surely the shortest word is A, O, or E, isn't it? Or I?
No, but you don't need to count something as a word unless you're kind of using it to avoid a gobbledygook. So here, the ones that I'm actually claiming as a word are toe and stone.
All right.
And in this example, if instead of a Q, I had done an O, so then I could claim that as a word, pro, to avoid gobbledygook. And then
So
it
you
would
can't
be,
use anagrams then? You've just got to be the actual word to where they lay that out.
it has to be the actual words. So you can't do
Okay.
PR. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minus 1, which is 4, times 3. So that would be 12. That would be 12 points.
So you can't use anagrams of those letters. You can't say like rope, for example, on the bottom one.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
You have to do it in the order going left to right.
Okay.
Does that sort of make sense?
Yeah, let's give it a go.
All right, let's go.
Okay, and we're going to work through the whole deck for this. So, we'll start off with Chris. Chris, you have to choose these 3 things to put on your 2 lines. An S or an H, an E or an L, and an N or a U. And you have to choose 1 letter from each card and put it down. You could put them all down onto 1 line if you want, or you could put them down.
Okay, yeah. I'm good.
Tom, you have E or K, S or G, and E or M. So you have to put 1 of these letters, 1 of these letters, and 1 of these letters on your 2 lines.
Have they got to be in the order that you've put them up on the screen?
No, they can be in any order, but they do have to be. I mean, obviously the 2 lines don't have to be next to each other, but if you put 2 of them on a line or 3 of them on a line, those 2 or 3 have to be next to each other, because as the game goes on, you can never put letters in the middle, only on the left or the right. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay, James, your letters are A or G, A or P, and S or X. Which is your favorite card? Because it's the only way. James lives in Essex, for those who don't know. And I don't think that's too much information for you to be worried about your privacy. Now that you're a superstar, everyone might be wanting to come over to Essex and track down James.
In my dreams, yeah. I don't think that's going to happen today.
Well, certainly not with COVID. I mean, all these stalkers should stay at home. I mean, you can stalk James another day. I mean, to be fair, actually, no, don't stalk James at all. Please don't. So, James, have you written these?
You can stalk the bunny. I mean, bunny's fine, but not me.
Have you chosen 1 of these letters, 1 of these letters, and 1 of these letters?
Yes, I have, Bez.
Okay, great. And finally, it is my turn, and I'm going to increase my screen because we're going to be discussing. Remember, this is cooperative. As the game goes on, we're going to have 3 cards each turn, and we will distribute them amongst ourselves. So, E or Y? I or B, and C or H. Ooh.
Okay.
I'm
So
going to
between-
put.
Sorry.
I'm going to put
Those are your-
it in disorder. Okay. So now what happens is we've got 3 cards, and each person basically just freeform says, I would like that card, and we agree, or say, oh, I would really like that myself. There's nothing here that I'm really I desperately need, but I'm happy to take any one of these if it helps.
Can I go
Chris,
for the D, O, and D?
I can take the D, but I don't need it.
I mean, I could do the D, but obviously the.
Oh, the D's in high demand then.
No, I'd be happy with the N or Z, but I don't.
Okay,
All
everyone happy with Tom having N or Z?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
Tom can have it.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
Tom's.
Yeah, go ahead,
And-
take the OD.
So is that going to James?
Yeah, I'll take the D, please.
Here again, Cheyenne. And or you
I can't really do anything with it.
You
Not
can't
really,
do
no.
anything. Okay, I'll start a new word. So this one, unfortunately for people watching, you can't really join in on this one. But if you want to log off, next Tuesday, I'll make sure that the first couple of games we play are again something that you can join in. Might do say anything again, because that seemed to work well. I don't know what folk think.
I did.
Yeah, okay.
I can
So-
take one of the T's.
Oh, I would love a tea. I would love a tea.
All right, so Bez and I will take a T.
Unless Tom or James, do you need a tea?
I have absolutely no preference about what card I take here.
James?
I'll have the Y, please.
Oh, brilliant. That works perfectly. So James has a Y, Tom gets skipped, and we get a T. I'm trying for a really long word. It's going to be 7, maybe 8.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh,
S or C, A or W, S or D.
Okay. I'm going to be starting. Actually, no, I can take. That's right. That's right. You change it to left or right. I can take the anything really. Probably starting a new word here.
I'll be starting a new word as well, I think. So
I'll be continuing a word which I've only got a vowel, so I don't
Okay.
really care at all. James, do you have
In
any
that case-
preference?
none of them are any good for me, really.
Okay, so we'll take some of them.
I'll take an S.
So Chris takes an S. What do you want, Tom?
I'll take the AW card, I think.
Okay, I will take the D. I'm feeling good about that. Okay, we've got an A or an L, an O or an F, N or B.
Okay, I
I'll take
have to
the-
have that A.
The L. A and the L.
Yeah.
Oh.
I would like the NB if I can.
Okay. The A is gonna complete it.
AL for James.
Okay, thank you.
I would
Okay.
like the NB. I don't need it that bad. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you happy
I'll
with?
take the OF. I'll start a new word with the F.
Okay,
Who's taking the NB? Is it you or me?
that's you, Tom.
I'll take it. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, next one. Oh, I would really like an I, if I may.
Okay. I need the A.
So A for Chris, if that's okay with people.
Yep.
I for me, if that's okay with people.
Mhm.
And Tom or James can take the T or G.
Not particularly bothered about either.
No, me neither.
Do you want to take it or shall I?
No, I don't want it.
Okay.
Okay, T or G goes to Tom.
Okay, so we're trying to make 2 words total, or
No,
words
we're
along-
making as many words as we want.
Okay, got it.
So in my example, where's my bits of paper that I had?
Only 2 words can count towards a score. Any
No,
word will be
no.
not.
Basically, out of all the words that we make between the four of us,
Right. Okay.
out of all the words we make between all of us, the longest word between all of us, minus the longest string of gobbledygook between all of us,
Right.
multiplied by the shortest word between all of us.
We could easily have a negative number.
We
Got
could potentially have a negative, but I doubt that we would.
Right.
Because that would mean, basically, if you've got more than one bit of gobbledygook in a row, you want to really, really avoid that and tell us that you're not taking a thing.
Yes.
E or P, O or H, and R or D.
Can I go for the RD, please?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. I can take the E or the O, whichever works for you.
I could take the E.
Okay. Bez, do you need
Okay,
a
so
O or an H?
I have no preference. So, if I could, I could use the P. Nah, I'm not. I'm fine. I'd rather have the T later on. RP, if that's okay with
I'll
people.
take the E then. EP.
All right, I'll take the
E
O.
for Tom and O for Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I feel like we're about halfway through here. ILEWRL.
Can I go for the EW, please?
I'm fine with that. Is everyone else?
Yeah, I could take the I or the R.
I have literally no preference.
Okay, I'll take the R.
Do you want either of them, Tom?
Not particularly.
Okay, if you're taking the R, I will take the sure, I will take the L, but that does mean that I need to have an E later on. Unless I hope we don't all need an E. OCRHTC.
Oh,
TC.
can I go for the RH, please?
RH for James. Tom, you said you really need the TC.
I didn't. I was just going, well, hey, TC.
Oh, I would actually quite like the T. Is that
Yeah, go
okay?
for
Okay, take the T.
Okay. Now my shortest word is 4.
I don't mind about taking that. Do you, Chris?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. We've got oh no. I or U, T or D, and R or B.
I would like to have the U if possible.
I'll take the T.
James, do you have anything you want? I've just finished a 4-letter word, so I'm happy to
So
take the
have I.
RB after it.
You can have the R if you want. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take the B, and I think
That's
Tom
IU.
was taking the IU,
Yeah.
and Chris is taking the TD, right?
T, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I really need an N.
Okay.
I'll take the S if you want.
All right.
Whoops.
I don't really need either the A or J if you need it, if you want it.
I'll take the AJ, yeah.
All right.
Oof. I should have counted before, but we've only got 2 turns left.
Oh, no. Right.
R or M, N or D, and O or V.
Okay.
I would like the ND, if possible.
Okay.
It's fine with me.
Can I have the RM?
Yep, remember. You're
Okay,
trying to finish your words here.
Yeah, I can't do anything with that.
Okay, I will take it because I've got a couple of spaces for gobbledygook. So this is my first one. It's going to be gobbledygook. And finally, Oh, no. I was sure that we'd have a G.
I need either the R or the N to avoid some gobbledygook.
Well, then you can have that then.
Either one.
I'm really sorry. The really long word that I had has now become two fairly short words.
That's okay.
Oh, it's okay. I've got a 6-letter that should save it.
I've got a 6-letter as well. So.
Okay, so I could take one of them and it'll just be a 1-letter gobbledygook chain. So it doesn't matter. None of these benefit me. Who would actually benefit from one except for Tom? Okay, so Tom, which one do you want?
Either the N or the R, whichever.
Okay.
So I'll do the N.
Neither is good for you.
Yeah, none of them really help me. I'll take the RW.
Will that
Unless
just
you
be a
want it.
1-letter gobbledygook
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah.
Okay, and I can fit in a 1-letter with the IC. So, now before we'll reveal them, I'm sorry I made some 3 letters. And we can show our thing. So I've got Bet, Tin, and Dolt with a 1-letter gobbledygook. Unseen, Can, and Wed. Unseen, very nice. And James has, well, Ascent,
Raspy.
Fort, and Raspy and Held. Oh, very nice.
Raspy, Held, and 2 nonsense letters.
So the final score is 6 minus 1 times 3, which makes it 15.
Nice.
So we managed to score 15 points. I don't know if that's good or bad. This is the first time.
Minus 1.
Yeah, so we had a 1 string of gobbledygook, the longest word, so that's the scoring.
When you say the string, what do you mean by the string?
So
It meant like the longest string of letters that does not make a word.
I had 2 letters.
2 letters in a row. Can I see?
Oh.
RS.
I only saw the F when you held it before.
So
Okay.
if you'd put the R like on the top or to the right of held, that would have been better.
Well, I didn't think of doing that.
6 minus 2 times 3 is 12 points.
Sorry.
No worries.
No worries.
Oh dear.
So we score 12, which isn't as good as 15, but there we go.
What's this game called?
I don't know what it's called. Cooperable?
I mean, that makes sense.
That would make sense.
So let me ask you quickly.
Gobble-de-gook? I don't know.
Gookle Gobble. That's terrible name.
Negotiable.
Yes.
But before we talk about the name, the question is it worth being a game? So, and was it any fun? Just first impressions, did you have fun? What did you think of it overall? Chris?
Yes, it was fun. Definitely helps that everyone has to kind of work together with everyone else. So it's definitely pure cooperative, which is nice.
Tom, first impressions?
Yeah, negotiation's nice. It just felt a little bit short.
Oh,
Felt like we could have gone longer. I don't know if shuffling a deck and going through again might have been worthwhile to build up some more. I don't
Agreed.
know. That might just be me.
I think it's got potential. I think I enjoyed the gameplay. I enjoyed the choice of cards, and I enjoyed people choosing the cards that they wanted the most. Although you're kind of not sure how to negotiate that sometimes, but that's okay. I didn't understand the rules at first. I thought the rules were a bit confusing, and the scoring isn't obvious, but you can work that out later. So yeah, I think it's got potential.
Yeah, I think for some folks, I think seeing an example in a rule book would help with the scoring. Making like it might even just be easier to say it the longest word the group makes minus the longest amount of continuous letters that doesn't make a word multiplied by what was it, the shortest word?
Yep.
Right. So you might just explain to everyone, try to make the longest words you can, but make sure your short words are also long, or try to make them long as well.
Yeah,
I think
because if
maybe-
we'd managed to only do 4-letter words, like James, none of James's words were less than 4. So if we'd done that, we would have scored 16, which would have been much better.
Yeah.
But
we need 3-letter words to avoid gobble-de-gook sometimes. So.
Yeah, that's the tricky bit.
Yeah. I think it might benefit from the gobble-de-gook not necessarily being part of the rules, or just discarding that straight away, and maybe adding up all the words that we have combined as our score, and the person with the longest word gets a bonus or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, usually with cooperative games, the goal with it is to make is to have everyone working together to make a higher score or whatever.
So I think everyone having a word would actually help to contribute towards the score. So everyone who scores a word would contribute to the score, and then the person with the longest word would get a bonus point for that or something. I don't know.
Okay.
So, that sounds like so let's go around quickly, talk about things that we liked about it, and just one thing that you liked and that you wouldn't want to see changed, if that's cool. Chris?
Okay. I actually like the fact that it's relatively short. The number of rounds feels about right. With more players, you might have to go through a second time. I think about how many rounds was that? About 12 or so? No. We started with 3 letters. We added about 8. What
it
was
was
it?
exactly
About 10
12.
rounds? 12 rounds.
It was exactly 12.
So, okay. So that's just about the right amount of time to be playing something like this. I might have some sort of wild card come into play, perhaps. But it might be the sort of thing where everyone gets one and only one wild throughout the entire game. So they can choose to take a card and then basically say, I'm not going to use this card. I'm discarding this card and using my wild instead. So it still has to take a letter, and then it basically gets discarded such that someone else can still skip a letter. Yeah. The other alternative might be
talk about that in a minute. I just wanted to talk about something that you like, Tom, something that you would not want to see changed.
I did like the quick negotiation of people sort of giving an impression of what they needed, like I really need that, or I would kind of like that, or I don't mind anything. That was a nice sort of indirect bit of negotiation without... I mean, we were all automatically going for vague preferences rather than spelling out exactly what we've got and what we're working towards. I don't know if that wasn't specified in the rules, but we were kind of doing that anyway. But I thought
that's my intention. Although, I mean, in theory, you could end up with someone alphaing it.
Yeah.
If everyone says, "Oh, this is exactly what I've got in this order," but yeah, this is how I imagine it's happening, because I don't imagine it and get. Even if we were sat around the same table, I think I'd still want people to be writing it down to commit to one of the 2 letters, rather than just taking the cards Muckell style, where you get to choose later on. I think committing. But James, what was one thing that you liked about it that you would not want to see changed?
I also enjoyed giving people the choice and then negotiate which one you wanted to go for. I would wonder how it would play out if you had some very strong personalities playing, and it's like, who would decide if people definitely, if like two people wanted the same card, who would decide which one you get, and what's stopping somebody from always passing and always conceding that they'll never get one?
that was actually a thing I was just about to say. If someone's either really shy or not very assertive, they might have a very difficult time like speaking up for themselves and getting the one. So it might be the sort of thing where, like, you might have everyone choose in clockwise order based on like where they. If you're playing by video conferencing or if you're playing around a table, each person starting with one person, and that first player always changes or whatever. Each person chooses to skip or pass, but that might add more complexity than it needs to be.
Maybe you could have the person whose round it is has the final say on who gets which card.
I mean, it could be that if you were playing around a table, each turn it was one person draws the cards and they have the final say. But I think the actual choice should be quite freeform. And
Oh no, I mean the choice. I mean, if there's ever any doubt at the end of the choice being made, if you get up to two people who will say we both equally want it really desperately, and the person whose turn it is gets to decide which one it goes to, like a judge sort of thing. But I think, I mean, in terms of one thing I would change, probably the gobble-de-gook bit. I don't think it's necessary, and I think I'm not sure what I would change instead of it, but I think it just confuses things, I think.
I quite like that because it made everything that all the words you were making, even if they weren't counted towards the score, it was counting against gobble-de-gook. So it was something to hold back.
Yeah, okay.
I quite liked it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, James. That it is definitely a complication in the game, because just saying longest word times shortest word would be really simple. But then what's to stop us only having one word and then saying, okay, it's 6 times 6 and just messing up everything else intentionally?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you're going to be limited by an average of 4, 5, or 6 letter words, maximum, really, isn't it? So, don't know.
I mean, I guess it could be something like the longest word multiplied by the number of words you've made.
Yeah, but that would obviously reward shorter words.
Yeah, that would then basically mean that you want to say, okay, before the game starts, that one person is going for the longest word. Everyone else just make as many 3-letter words or however long as you can. Which probably wouldn't be that fun, because if I feel like the person who was making the longest word, there is like an element of pride in there. Do you know what I mean? Like if I'd managed to make the word betting, which was what I was clearly going for, but thankfully I managed to do it into bet and tin, then I would have felt like, yeah, I carried us through. I managed to get us to have 3 more points.
So you know the game we had earlier with the scoring system where the more letters you get, the more points you get. Maybe we could do that where you have everyone tries to get as many words as possible, and you add up how many letters you get for each word, and obviously longest words score more, but it also encourages you to get more words per person as well, or more letters per word per person. So that way,
so is your basically your thing that you'd like to be changed, James, is that you'd like it to be a bit simpler? Am I understanding correctly?
Yeah, and I think every word that everyone plays to be scored somehow.
That makes sense. Chris, any thoughts of what you would like to see changed? You talked about the wild cards.
Yeah, just in terms of having either just some ability to have like a mulligan. Maybe I rearrange some letters. I definitely like the ability to add letters to the left of a current word or to the right of a current word. And I think that could more easily be mentioned as saying whatever your first letters are, put them in the center of your paper, such that if I started here, I can then add words to the left or to the right more easily. I started with the SEN, as you see right here, and then over
Yeah.
time we're able to get the S and the A to get a cent. So by putting your first letters in the center of your paper, that will be a good visual reminder that you can always continue to add from the left or the right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it?
that's a
Okay.
very worthwhile non-functional change. Good shout.
Yes, I like that. It's very good.
And Tom?
Just thinking about the scoring, I think the shortest word in this one is always going to be 3 letters. If
Is it
people are
like,
playing.
don't you think that we could get to a game where we manage to make 4 letters only?
Possibly, but it'd be rare. I think it's very likely to be 3 letters. I think it's going to be fairly samey scores every time.
Yeah, but that could be a concern. It could also be the sort of thing where the amount of words is part of the scoring somewhere, as was already stated. If you're going to have the shorter words, you may as well reward people for doing that. So it could be something like longest word plus number of letters in longest word plus number of words altogether minus or divided by gobble-de-gook or something like that. If you're going to have those 3 aspects or those 3 numbers that are put in the calculation, having some, there'd be something to play with, basically, as a way of
yeah, or the longest word plus or times the second longest word or something.
Sure.
Minus all the gobble-de-gook altogether.
Yeah,
that's
like
good.
if I don't know if this is too much multiplication.
Yeah.
But if we had shortest word times the longest word times the number of words.
You might get to a lot of might get to big numbers there.
Because how many words did we have? I had 1, 2, 3.
2.
How many did you have, James? Was it 2?
I had 2 words, yeah.
So we had 10 words times 6 times 3 would make it 180.
Yeah. I'd keep I'd keep one multiple and then add or subtract something else.
Yeah.
Maybe the longest
so
word.
10 words means that we got 2 of us got 2 words and 2 of us got 3 words.
Yeah, like maybe longest
so I think
plus
if
the
you play this again
multiplied by the shortest. Although that gets back to the worry that the shortest might always be 3.
Yeah.
But
well, realistically,
the shortest it's a place where everyone's going to average 2 or 3 words then, aren't you? No one's going to get like much more different than that.
Yeah, it's going to be your shortest words are going to be 2, 3, or 4. So you can almost accept that as a constant sort of thing.
But you don't want to make your I feel like I wouldn't want to get to the end and then be like, okay, is it worth scoring bet and tin as 2 words, or should I just do it as gobble-de-gook? I want it to be clear, okay, I want to have the minimum amounts of gobble-de-gook, which makes me feel like the current scoring system might be the best, even though it's not ideal. But I appreciate what you're talking about of simplifying it, James. I think there's a lot to be said for that. And yeah, I hear what you're saying about the length, Tom. Like given, Chris is said that it's right length. I don't know. It might be that I'll try it out maybe with my family even, see how they get on with it, because they're not gamers. So, but
I think it's a fun game, and I think it kills a few minutes, and I think it's entertaining.
Well, hopefully it doesn't kill the minutes. Hopefully it gives you value for those minutes, turns those minutes into entertainment.
Enriching.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you mean, but I just hate that phrase, because it kind of, like, there's an episode of The Simpsons where someone I think Bart's like, oh, I just want to kill time. And then there's this person beside him who says, oh, time is not something to be killed. You must cherish the moment. And it's actually really true if we think about it, because we all have finite time. Thank you massively for all the feedback. It's been insanely useful to kind of hear it all. But before we all depart, as per usual, can we talk about something that we're looking forward to over the next day or so? I am going to. This is a very small thing, but I've got a bit of broccoli, like just a bit of broccoli stem, in the fridge, and I've got a bit of like Tritney sweets and sour sauce, which should have been used, and I'm just going to fry up that broccoli stem and pour the sweet and sour sauce on it and see how it tastes. And I am actually quite excited by that. Maybe a little bit of salt and pepper. I think it should be good.
Nice.
Sounds nice.
I am looking forward to making the first full play test of a new game. Just finished printing it out and cutting it up a few minutes before I jumped on the call here. And just kind of seeing, like, it's a first play test, so there's always going to be that chance of things just going royally off the deep end. But that's how you make a better version for things, you know?
Of course. Play bad games so that other people don't have to.
It sounds like a tagline for a playtesting service. We play bad games so you don't have to.
Well, it's what Mark Rosewater says all the time about Magic. We play bad Magic so you don't have to.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Tom, what are you looking forward to over the next day or so?
I am looking forward to spending a good deal of time diving into all the details of figuring down on the modal nodes on Wikipedia. I'm going to look up all the backstories. I'm going to learn all the names and memorize them. Figuring down a modal node on a Cantina band.
So next time we see you, you'll have written some fan fiction about all these people.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, and James, are you looking forward to anything over the next day or so?
I might go for a walk tomorrow.
Okay. Sounds like a good time. It's always important to get yourself out of the house. I mean, we should be distancing ourselves from other humans, but that doesn't mean to stay indoors all the time. It's important to take care of yourself physically and mentally and emotionally.
Let's get some compost from my potting plants. So do that soon.
Nice.
Where am I going to get that from? Because all the shops are closed, aren't they?
I mean, worst case scenario, you might be able to buy it online. But you'd have to check all the opening hours for everything. But that has been, thank you so much, everyone. It has been so much fun. And I'm planning to do it again on a little bit after 8 p.m. We normally start around 10 minutes after 8. And I'm not sure what games we will play on Tuesday. But I can't remember. Did any of you three say that you were going to be there on Tuesday?
I should be able to be, yeah. And I might have. I don't know if it would work best on this particular platform, but what's it called? The Greek God game that we've been playtesting.
Oh yeah.
That might.
Well, let's try it once on the Friday before we play it on the stream.
Yeah, sure, that works.
Like I was thinking, we could do a bit more giftable. We'll do a bit more say anything. We'll have a discussion off camera, and because that's not fun for anyone. But we'll be back. Some of us will be back around 8, a wee bit after 8 on Tuesday. And for now, have a happy Easter. And does anyone want to make any wishes? I wish that you are all healthy and stay alive.
Yay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.